Hello, hello, my friends. It is Hondo, and welcome back to the Knights of the Nerd Republic. You know what to do, and stay profitable.
The Nerd Academy podcast is released weekly at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, available on our website at www.thenerdacademypodcast.com and wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also help support the show by going to patreon.com/The Nerd Academy podcast, where every donation allows us to bring you more exciting content every week.
Knowledge.
Hello there, and welcome back to Knights of the Nerd Republic, the show where your favorite nerds talk all things in the galaxy far, far away. I am your host, Jared the Dark Jedi, Bachman Stubbs, and joining me, as always, is the one-eyed knight, Lord Keeper himself, Connor Chikiti.
Hello there, everyone.
And the reason
And Jordan, I'm sweating.
for this that's coming through,
I have great respect.
I have great respect for Knowledge Fight. I don't have great respect for the Bombadcast, but I do have great respect for Gerry the Canon Junky.
Hey, what's up? You know,
Could you guys hear it? Was it coming through?
Yes.
Oh, it was coming. Yeah, I could hear it.
Okay.
It was coming through.
My neck is freakishly large. How are you, Gerry?
Yes. I'm doing pretty good, you know, and like even though you did slander a show that I own, you know, at least 50% of, thanks for having me. It's great to be here. I'm glad I'm the respected half.
I mean, well, the other half is my arch enemy, so like, you know.
Right. You know, I mean, we both kicked your ass, but whatever. It's fine. I'll stop playing it because
Jerry, you're working your way onto the shit list here, bud.
I know. Well, you know,
I tread carefully.
That's something I'm trying to get on as many as I possibly can these days. It's my brand. It's my brand now. So what are you gonna do? It's good to be here, is what I'm trying to say.
I'm happy to have you on as well, Jerry. And again, you didn't talk as much shit as Scotty did in the wake of it, so that's why I'm not coming for you. But be warned,
I'm more chill. I can live in that victory. You know what I mean? I don't have to talk about it, except for when I want to. You know, but that's not here. We're not going to do that tonight. So
okay, I think that's fair. We have one hell of an episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi to talk about, guys. I have a lot of thoughts, and I'm very much looking forward to talking about all of them. But before we do that, a brief word from our lovely sponsors at SundaysBloodyMary.com.
what?
You guys know the drill. SundaysBloodyMary.com has the most badass Bloody Mary accoutrement in the galaxy. The Spicy Caesar Mix, the award-winning Spicy Caesar Mix, is my go-to bevy at this point. Got a really fun flavor profile that I can never get enough of. And if you are not into the spicy, whoever is making noise during my ad read, I'll fucking kill you.
That's not me. I don't know.
Sorry.
I'll take your good eye, Chiquiti.
Okay.
Excuse me, I'm just taking a drink.
Is it
Please continue.
Bloody Mary?
For this ad read, yes, it is. Absolutely, it is.
But yeah, if you guys aren't into spiciness or animal product for that matter, they have a mild mix and a vegan mix. They also have pickled dilly beans, asparagus, and okra for their garnishes, and they have all kinds of cool merch like shot glasses, hats, etc. So go to sundaysbloodymary.com/shop. Use code TNAP, TNAP at checkout, and get 10% off your order, and you help out your favorite nerds whilst you do it.
Those guys up there. Boom. You know, fun fact. I've never had a Bloody Mary.
You should change that.
Same.
I should. And I'm afraid of saying it 2 more times because I'm in a dark room and my closet doors do have mirrors. So I'm not going to say it 2 more times here. So anyway.
Does it only count if you're looking into the mirror?
I guess. Well, I'm looking directly like at the closet and everything too. Honestly, this I got in here and I was like, all right, this is gonna be great for my sleep paralysis demon. Like just open like French doors to come into my room and stuff. It's great. It's great. Anyway,
Yeah.
no, I do need to change that. And man, no, like
Listen, I'm not going to demand it of either of
Sounds
you.
pretty good.
But I do know that we will all be in the same room April of next year.
For a blessed event, possibly.
Yes, where I will be going to sabotage the wedding of my arch enemy. I'm
gonna be sweating when I ask if there's any objections.
I just stand up with a lightsaber in my hand. No.
He's mine.
If either of you decide to hold off until I can make you a Bloody Mary,
I'm down for that because I honestly couldn't make my own right now. I mean, I could.
I could do it because I'll make you one from scratch, and then I'll make you a Sundays.
Okay.
Because I make a mean Bloody Mary. I like Sundays a lot, but I make a mean Bloody Mary from scratch myself.
Okay, I'm down. I was gonna say I've never really done the savory cocktail, and so
Bloodies are fun. Do you like
with
spicy?
Me as you will. I enjoy spicy. It's a little bit like drinking Pace Picante.
I wouldn't say that it's like drinking Picante.
Not chunky
but
though.
No, it's when you get the right flavor profile. Like it's not like there's also like a citrusiness to it when you do it right.
I like
so
citrusy.
There's the savory, there's the spicy, and there's some citrusy in the way my mom and I make them from scratch. So it's a really fun flavor profile. I like to when I have a really good Bloody Mary, I have to wash it down with Sprite.
Okay.
It's like that's always been
so
my
even like a chaser or something.
I mean, sometimes just because it is like a hearty drink. Like I have people at the bar who like will come in and be like, "Make me a Bloody Mary for dinner." That's an actual sentence I hear with
soup
that is not infrequent.
Right. Well, no, and I mean, again, I'm grateful that the folks at Sunday's Bloody Mary are, absolutely rocking it and everything. So go check them out for these guys, and think of me whenever you make one, I guess. So
I will.
And how sad of a life I've lived without having one. So
I cannot wait to change it for you guys.
Thank you.
So this episode, I want to my opening salvo, and I think like I could say what I'm about to say and then remove myself from the stream and just let that be and let it stand on its own.
Okay.
This is my favorite piece of Star Wars storytelling since The Last Jedi. And loyal listeners know that that is a big statement coming from me. I love this episode completely. I think that, how do I put this? This episode had a lot of like dude bro-y shit in it, but it did dude bro-y shit. Cause like, let's be honest, on some level, some of the most like head empty dude bro-y Star Wars requests at their core are kind of fucking cool, right? Like even if they're kind of silly, even if they don't necessarily gel with like what we love about this franchise, they aren't entirely without merit.
Right.
Like the best example being, like that piece of fan art where like Obi-Wan Kenobi is on the Death Star and he's like lifting up several dozen blasters and like firing on them with the Force. Is it kind of silly?
Lord help me.
Is it kind of silly?
Yeah.
Yes. Is it completely out of character for Obi-Wan? Yes. Could you take that concept and retrofit it to work and be, cool beyond just the sake of coolness? Also, yes. Like I will always take it back to and I don't mean to say this in a way that like, oh, I'm so much better than him, but I think he and I have two very different outlooks on Star Wars, is that Star Wars Theory and I have the exact same elevator pitch for what you would do with an Obi-Wan or a Darth Vader series. We have we have an identical elevator pitch that is where you bring back Mace Windu and you have them face off against each other. And I think that when it comes to Star Wars storytelling, Theory and I, as people and as fans, have very different sensibilities. But that core concept is something he and I have both mentioned, and he has gone so far as to make a fan film about, right?
Right. Sunk a lot of money into that bad boy.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I'm glad that his auntie's basement was available that weekend to shoot it in.
That was funny. You know, but like again, like you can do dude bro-y shit and it work.
Well, it's all in the execution, right?
Exactly.
Like, that's the thing is you can make anything work. And honestly, so I remember I had like I shared that Kenobi artwork and like got like a little bit of attention from that, I think, a while back. And I remember being like, it's just like it's not Star Wars to me. It just didn't feel Star Wars. But put that in this show, which we've seen Obi-Wan use a blaster very well, mind you, many times. And absolutely, like I'd probably be down like, oh man, that's incredible. I can't believe they did that. I can't believe they made it work, you know. But again, yeah, it's execution. It's how they do it. It's not just mindless. It can't just be mindless violence just for the, oh, that would rock, right? Right, Connor? You would, yeah, you'd rock your one good eye out. Yeah.
No, it wouldn't.
It wouldn't.
Depending on,
are you sure?
Depending on the type of violence, it wouldn't. And the type of action, it would or wouldn't. Depends on what happens.
It depends. Like technically, Star Wars Theory got what he wanted in this episode because he got Vader. You know, not to. I don't know how far ahead y'all want to jump.
No, I do want to jump right in. I also forgot.
And we don't want to talk too much about Mr. Theory. I mean,
we could honestly split this episode up into Vader, Obi-Wan, Reva, and like that would pretty much cover the episode.
So real quick, before we go any further, I forgot to do our little tag before we start Obi-Wan talk.
Hello there. That's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay, anyway.
Do we say any spoilers before that? I don't know. If so, my apologies.
I mean, we kind of did. But here's my thing, and I do want to go back, and I know we talk shit about him, and I'm not a fan of his. And I don't want to dwell on it, but like I want to come back to like the Star Wars Theory-ian outlook on like, you know, I want to see Order 66, and I want to go back to anything can work when it has the right execution and I think the right ethos behind it. All of us were like, the last motherfucking thing I need from this show is to watch Order 66. Like, not just a little snapshot or anything like that, like a full-on flashback to Order 66. We've
had enough trauma. We've had enough trauma. God damn,
enough of that. Trauma. Real-world events, you know, and it's just like we all know. Like, we know, like, the main character of this show is a survivor of the Purge, you know?
Right.
All of them are, you know, except for the one that instigated the Purge.
Right.
Well, this show
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Does the Order 66 moments with intention, with purpose, and instead of it being an action-filled fuckfest, you know, and again, I love the Revenge of the Sith game as much as the next person, and I will admit my favorite levels are when you're doing the attack on the temple, because it's just a whole level of lightsaber duels.
Yeah.
You get the Syndralic boss fight. You get and again, like my favorite levels of the game are the boss fights because they're all lightsaber duels, and then you get the level that is literally just dozens of mini lightsaber duels. It's fun, it's cool, you know, and like when you're put in the passenger seat of being Darth Vader, or you know, the old school Battlefront 2 Nightfall mission, it's cool because it's challenging because you're fighting just swaths of Jedi. And those are one of those moments where, like, like Freddie Prinze Jr. said, video games are kind of fucked up how people consume Star Wars.
Smart man, but yeah.
And it's true. It's true. And I think that demanding an Order 66 scene and wanting Order 66 gameplay, I think, are two different things. Because I don't think they'd ever make a Star Wars game that involves Order 66 where you go into the Jedi Council chamber with all the fucking children.
I mean, if they did, I mean, again,
Godspeed.
all respect to Mr. Theory, but he would probably like jizz in his pants. Like he would be jizz wailing.
Well, in his
at that point,
things you won't hear me say often. In his defense, I think when he says and when he thinks Order 66, Jedi Temple, I think he's thinking about the Revenge of the Sith level.
Yeah.
I think it's just, I want to see Hayden Christensen out of the suit dueling Jedi after Jedi after Jedi after Jedi after Jedi, which again, like, I get that. And the way it's framed in this show is perfect because it is not the, how cool would it be to just basically do a gauntlet of Jedi? It's showing how horrifying it was. It's doing it from Reva's perspective, where you keep getting into this, like, Darth Vader is like a horror movie villain. Like, especially the way Anakin is framed in that shot where he's like rearing back, with his lightsaber. It's like those like really intense close-ups, the way that there's like a distortion on the camera as well during all of Reva's flashbacks.
Yeah. He looks like the boogeyman. Like, there was a shot, I think it was when it was the distant shot with him and the two clone troopers next to him.
Like walking in.
Blue saber.
Felt like that shot in Revenge of the Sith, honestly. Like,
Not even that for me. It was just the fact that the blue saber lit his face up in a certain angle where it was like, I
shining a flashlight underneath your chin.
It felt like the boogeyman to me. And like someone said,
shadows.
A friend of mine said that this show was the first time that they've seriously, legitimately have been afraid of Darth Vader. And I'm inclined to agree with them.
Y'all are dumb if it took you this long.
Well, he's imposing and stuff, but like this, I think, is the scariest Vader we've gotten in a long. You know what I mean? Not that he's not scary in the original trilogy, but that's a Vader who's like kind of starting to contemplate. Hey, maybe I made some bad decisions along the way.
I'm just being a Vader fanboy when I say that as well.
No. Absolutely.
But I want to say, like, with Vader, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Sticking with like the Order 66 stuff,
right?
This is proof that you can make that kind of shit work when you do it with a focus on character, motivation, and like the why of it, and I don't just say it because it was like a theory I latched onto with the whole, like, Reva wants them both dead because she blames Obi-Wan for what Anakin did.
Right.
But like the fact that I'm very curious, and this goes out to anybody who was saying it in good faith, like people who dislike Reva for reasons that aren't being a dick. Like I said, when we did our review of the first two episodes, Joel is not super into Reva. Joel is also not super into characters like Reva generally. He's very much not into the hot-headed chip on my shoulder, I got something to prove villain. That's just not an archetype he's super into. And as long as I've known him, every time a character like that shows up, he rolls his eyes. So like, valid criticism from Joel, and I don't necessarily agree with him, but that's also because I fucking love characters like Reva. I don't know. Maybe that explains why Joel didn't like me at first when we met each other. Maybe that has something to do with it. Who knows?
That's because you're a villain with a chip on your shoulder as well, right?
I am.
Yeah.
Look at Scotty's mentions. I am.
I mean, if this is
Scotty the
our
face?
timeline, Jared, I don't know. I don't want to know what dark timeline Jared looks like.
Dark timeline Jared is tired of being misrepresented and taken out of context by the mainstream media. Sorry.
Having his words all cut apart and put together in
Alex woke
damning
up
ways.
for a minute.
They take full sentences that I said coherently and make it sound like I said that sentence.
I've gone back and started listening to the depositions again because the trial's next month.
You are a glutton for punishment, and I love you.
Dude, I love those depositions. Don't stop being funny.
It is pretty funny, like hearing the man get cowed down. But anyway.
Yeah, but there's so much richness here with Riva, and the revelations we get. Nice.
It's gonna be a big nut bust.
Biggest nut bust of all time. Absolutely.
Yes.
Fantastic.
I'm curious to see the people who were naysayers about her and how they feel now. And now that we really have much more context for who she is, why she's doing what she's doing. You know, I think Riva went from a character. It's like, again, I think a lot of people had a grasp on where this was going. But here, now, we know everything. And not everything, but we know everything we need to know. And I'm curious if people have had this character recontextualized for them.
I mean, I definitely have in a really good way. Not really recontextualized, but just like the more layers that get peeled back, just the more fascinating Riva is. And I know just when I do a full 1 to 6 rewatch of this show, it's just all gonna be so rewarding. Because I will say, I heard, so I can't actually say this because it actually fucking happens now. I had a friend who had some info on this show, and he said to me just generally, like, oh yeah, you'll get to a certain, like, because like we were talking about Riva and we talked about like just all the unfortunate hate that Moses got and everything, and just, but then also just the character arc that she goes through in general. And he's like, I won't say anything, but there is a piece of info that when you get to it will recontextualize Riva's entire story, and just it'll sort of make it all make sense. And it was funny that it was the Order 66 scene, because literally Jared, my friend Jake, and my friend who told me that, literally all 3 things, the second that conversation ended, I was like, he was right.
This motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking good.
That motherfucker don't miss, man.
He's good.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
No.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
I think it was, I don't think it was last week. I think it was the week before, or it might have been just last week or something. I forget what it was, but like it clicked into place for me as well. And I was like, I started to see like, okay, this is a direction it could go, everything. But like, yeah, no, you guys have been banging that drum and stuff, you know? So
like also the fact that she's the Grand Inquisitor for like
2 hours.
They make her the Grand Inquisitor. Darth Vader is such a petty bitch that he makes her the Grand Inquisitor just to kick her ass and give it right back to the dude who had it at the first place. They're in some DM or something. Like, oh, this is gonna be so fucking good.
Vader was in communication with actual Grand Inquisitor, and I really wish we would get a name for him already. But I love the
that's his only name.
Vader was like
Mr. Grand.
Vader, you know, was a hologram or DM'd him or whatever. It was just like,
Watch this shit. This will be fucking hilarious. She won't see it coming.
Grand Inquisitor?
Neo, Grand Inquisitor.
I can do it.
switches off the helmet vocabulary. This is gonna be wizard. Nice. You know, like it's just it's hilarious. Yeah, Anakin's such a prick, and I love him for it. That there's so dirty, and then there's that.
And like, here's the thing, like we see a perfect, like the perfect encapsulation, I think, of Vader and Anakin in this. I mean, there's a lot of perfect encapsulations of Vader and Anakin in this show, but one that really stuck out stuck out to me. I just almost combined two words. Stuck out to me.
Is stooked out?
Stuck out. I don't know what that means, but that's a Star Wars word.
Just feeding. Okay.
It's canon now. But one moment that stuck out to me was when he pulls the ship down and brings it down. And like, obviously, like I was pretty like, oh shit. I was like, oh shit.
I got big Rey vibes from that, honestly.
I got Rey, Ahsoka, and
also
Star
Anakin
Killer vibes. And Avar.
Oh, yeah.
Queen. She did this first. She did it first.
I want to use.
I understood that reference.
What you just said with the Vader with the transport ship. You know, I said this last week, and I've been saying it on Twitter a lot. This show, it feels like aesthetically and tonally, it feels like The Force Unleashed.
Yeah, but it's better.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's better because it's like the storytelling's better, but like
it's actual canon.
It's actual canon.
Too.
But I don't want to dismiss The Force Unleashed out of hand. Just because the most annoying fucking people talk about that game, like
they ruin
the whole like pariah of a story.
Or they ruin completely benign things for everyone.
Here's my, and I don't know why I'm like this, that I let them ruin Revenge of the Sith, but I still hold Force Unleashed dear to my heart. And one of those got ruined and one of them didn't for me. I don't know how that worked. Maybe it's because I met Sam Witwer when I was a kid. I don't know. But sweet guy, by the way.
That could do it.
Yeah, that could do it.
Sam, come on to Nights.
I was gonna say we were just on with Kyle Katar and me and Scotty the other night, and he was saying they got to meet him and said he's like the sweetest sweetheart ever.
He's so cool. I was like I had just turned 13, and I didn't know he was at that convention.
Oh, dude,
it was so funny. Okay, really quick sidebar about when I met Sam Witwer. I was 13. I was at Steel City Comic Con with my dad, and big piece of context that explains why I didn't know he was there. I didn't even think he was. My dad has had, because he gave it to me, a Chris Farley autograph that his dad bought from a guy who sold autographs. Came with all the authentication and shit. Yeah, so there was proof that like the autograph was legit and all that stuff. Yeah, and there are vendors who sell autographs at Steel City Con that have all the certification and everything, blah, blah, blah. So I look over and I see that this is in a table near all the autograph bullshit. And I just see a picture of Galen in the first game. And I was like, oh, look, it's Vader's apprentice. Because I didn't know his fucking name yet. I think I even just said Star Killer because I think Force Unleashed 2 was out by then. I was like, oh, look, Star Killer, whatever. And the lady sitting at the table was clearly his handler or whatever. And she started telling the story that everyone's heard 1,000 times about, oh, Sam was so excited when he got the call, blah, 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 blah. And then something, he's in the bathroom. He'll be right back, though. And then that's when it clicked for me that I was like, he's here?
What?
Because at the time, he was my favorite character. And he's still probably in the top 10 for me. But I was like, what? And I looked at my dad. And this is like literally, because again, it was like not long after my birthday. And I was like, oh, my birthday money's going to this Comic Con. And with my last like $50, that I had, and I was in like the 6th grade, he came out. I'm like, hi, Mr. Wimmer. It's a pleasure to meet you. And I'm like freaking the fuck out. And it was so funny because I was wearing like a Marvel shirt I had.
Yeah.
And I had a Force Unleashed t-shirt that was like the first game's box art. And I literally that morning was like, Star Wars, Marvel. Star Wars, Marvel. It's technically a Comic-Con. I'll wear the Marvel shirt. And like, I even told him, I was like, I almost wore my Force Unleashed shirt. And I was like so stupid excited and like shook his hand and like I'm freaking out because like he looks like Star Killer and shit. And
yeah.
Like, also, this man fucking beefcake. You can't tell on camera. That man.
That's what Kyle said. Kyle said it looks like he's like chiseled from marble.
He
and
is.
Everything. Like it just insane.
He is. His shit was bursting out of his shirt sleeve.
Yeah.
And we were talking. He's like, "Oh, I loved it. It was so much fun." Blah blah blah. And he was like, and then my favorite part of this conversation that we had. Very brief, and I was like, "Oh, it's so cool!" I was like, "I love the Force Unleashed." Da, 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 da. I was like, "I really hope they make a third game." I was like, "I really loved it. It's such an honor to meet you." And he was so sweet, and he was just excited to clearly talk to a kid that was like him. And he was like, "Oh, I had so much fun on the Clone Wars because this is after the Mortis arc."
Oh man!
But a year before Maul came back.
It's so weird because that series now lives just in entirely in and of itself for me now. But like that
you got to remember that there was
years.
a moment where we didn't know shit yet.
Way over years.
This was before Maul came back, but it was so it was like after Mortis but pre Maul. And he's like, "Oh, it's such a great time on the Clone Wars." And he looked at me and he's like, with a little smirk on his face, he's like, "If you keep your ears open, you might hear my voice again sometime soon." And that's all he fucking said.
Dude.
Wow.
That's cool.
And yeah. And it was like a year later. And this is so pathetic. And this is how I know like the timeline. Because it was like 2 weeks or so after my baby sister was born was Maul's big return. And
dude.
And I remember because like my mom and dad were like, they're like giving her like a sink bath, because baby. And I'm in the living room. And again, people who played The Force Unleashed will be familiar with this. There was a scene with Maul when he saw his spider legs and shit. And like he did the Sam Witwer scream. That like, shit that he does like 8 times in The Force Unleashed. And he did it. And I was like, Dad! It's Sam Witwer! He's Darth Maul! Oh my God! And I'm freaking out. Like, I'm just like, and again, it was like the end of The Usual Suspects. Like, that is the only way I can describe it, is where like, is like the coffee cup is falling and it says Kobayashi on the bottom of it. Is it like, I'm just flashing back to, and if you keep you keep your ears open, you might hear my voice. Kenobi. And it was so I was elated.
That's so awesome.
I freaked out. I wish it was so cool. I wish like smartphones were a thing. Like they were more readily accessible. Because I wish I had a picture of 13-year-old me like shaking Sam Witwer's hand. The other funny thing, and then we'll actually get back on topic, because I just love telling this story, is I asked him, I was like, "So do you know when we might hear anything about A Force Unleashed 3? And he said, and again, this is how you know Sam was built for the Disney era. He made some type of joke. He's like, "I would say that, but a Lucasfilm-shaped laser sight might just show up on my forehead if I start to talk. So may the Force be with you." He was super cool. One of the main reasons I want to go to Celebration is just so I could say hi to Sam. I just want to be like, you were like the first person in a Star Wars I ever got to meet, and I want to shake his hand again. I want to get a picture.
It's gonna happen. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna happen. So
I want to meet that man again very badly.
Putting that into the universe
as a fully grown adult. But back to the thing I said that got us on this topic. This show feels like The Force Unleashed.
Right.
Like there's a tone that those two stories share that kind of runs through this, and I don't know how to. It's like porn. I don't know how to define it, but I know it when I see it. And like there have been moments through each of these episodes that I'm like, this feels like Force Unleashed. Like, and not just like Vader, like literally using the Force in this like Herculean way where he's not even breaking a sweat. Vroom vroom.
Connor's really excited about that.
I know, but like where he's like bringing down the transport ship and he's not even breaking a sweat, and he rips it apart. Like
that was my favorite part, where he 3 times he goes like rips the shit off, and like, oh man,
like
so
not
good.
Like not just stuff like that, like the way he moves, the way he fights. Like this feels like Force Unleashed Vader.
Yeah,
and I don't know, his interact. I like there's just something there, and I've seen some people agree with me about this on Twitter, and I don't feel as crazy for that opinion. But I don't know. I've been talking for a while. Gerry,
No, I mean, the thing that's sticking out to me is that, like, the last episode, I really felt there was a moment in the episode. I think when they're in the hallway when Kenobi gets Leia and they're like, fighting, like, get his groove back. In my head, I was like, wow, okay, so this is the bridge. It all fits so well. Not that it didn't fit well together before, but like for some reason, everything felt so cohesive between the prequels, the Clone Wars, this show, the original trilogy, all of it. And I was like, there's the Kenobi, like this is the Kenobi from the Clone Wars. This is the same Kenobi it's all the same Kenobi. I had that moment with Vader here, but I mainly, this is Anakin. This is pure Anakin Vader. Like this is like I can see Anakin more in this Vader than you can in the original trilogy, and I think that's going to really beef up that. That's really going to add so much to the story once we're done with all of this, And
I think it's really strengthened by those flashbacks that we see. Like legitimately, when the episode opened and it started to pan back, I was like, "Oh, we're on Alderaan again," because it just looks so similar to me
at first.
Alderaan. And then when it like pan back, and then we see the braid, and I see Anakin's hair, and I'm like, "Oh shit, we're doing flashbacks! Oh my god!" And then like,
I dropped
the thing I really appreciated was that this flashback told a story in and of itself, but it also really helped inform us of the present story, especially with Vader. Something a friend of mine pointed out to me when I was chatting with him on the way home from work today, was all of those flashbacks are from Vader. They're from his perspective. None of them are from Obi-Wan. And he said, like, it's all about how Anakin is still the Padawan, the learner. Mm-hmm. And in this case, I think Vader probably feels that he still thinks he's the learner.
He still gets at him. He still gets under his skin.
Still gets at him. Obi-Wan still gets at him. And he's like, I need to end this man right here, right now, but on a good fight. Because he wanted to end him in episode 3, but he was like, nah.
Not like this.
Man, this is too pitiful.
Not like this.
Not like this.
This is like a mercy kill.
Like, I deserve better than this.
To make a couple comparisons, first of all, it feels like the beginning of Hook.
I haven't seen Hook in forever, so I have.
Whenever Peter like first shows up on Captain Hook's ship, and Captain Hook's like, "You can't fly. You're all fat." He's like, "You're like trying to pay me off instead of drawing your sword. Fuck off and come back when you're ready to fight me."
Right?
It's not going down like this. I've waited too long to put you down. Okay, well, if my internet goes out, this will be fun. I don't think it should.
It just came back.
The screen came back. I noticed that behind me, and I got very nervous for a moment.
I didn't want to say anything, but because I was like, oh, maybe it'll come back around. But anyway, it did. It worked out. It worked itself out.
But there's that level of like, the beginning of I earned getting to fight you in your prime to the death.
Yeah.
And with the flashbacks, I've been stuck between two interpretations. And it's funny, Spencer wasn't able to be on because Wednesdays are super tough for him, and his work schedule has been whooping his ass. God bless him. I love this shit. He and I were on the same wavelength. Where I want to read the conversation we had actually real quick. Pressing on all the wrong buttons here.
Alderaan buttons.
He said, have you seen Kenobi from this week yet? I said, oh, I have. He said, am I nuts or is the flashback duel not a flashback. Now,
you messaged me about this morning as well, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, I forgot we were talking about that last night as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, part of Spencer's reasoning for this was that, and it was mostly because Ewan's hand was covering most of it, he thought it was Vader's lightsaber Anakin was using in the flashback, but his Attack of the Clones and Vader lightsabers are mostly identical on purpose.
It had that black bar in the middle. I noticed that on my second watch today.
It's the black bar. The main thing that sets them apart is that like the beveled emitter shroud is black on Vader's instead of chrome. But I think there's two ways to interpret it, and I think both are equally valuable and interesting. One of them is this is a flashback from Vader's perspective, Connor, like you were saying, him internalizing himself as the learner, that chip on his shoulder that like, I need to win, I need to be the best, in the way that it is, it was never not a toxic trait of Anakin's, but in his time as Darth Vader, it has turned into something far worse. And I think it's because he's able to indulge it as Vader. As Vader, there is no one who can oppose him. There is not a single Inquisitor that could take him on a good day, and every Jedi.
No, on their best days, they couldn't take him.
Exactly. And, and the only Jedi he has lost to have been either because of a stalemate or some weird external circumstance where, Cal had to take the chance that he'd kill himself and Seer just to get away from Vader.
Yeah.
When he caves in the tunnel and tries to drown them out, and Vader survived. So Cal's attempt was not successful except for getting them away. So Vader's just win after win after win after win after win after win after win. And when you get to that level, when you get to that point of I am at the top of the mountain, no one can challenge me, no one can beat me. And now this guy who nearly killed him, and that is truly, as a warrior, his only real equal, is alive and around and kicking. I think there's an insecurity on top of the anger, on top of the desire for revenge. I think there's an insecurity there for Vader as well.
Oh, 100%. That's one of the cool things about this show for me is that I feel like it is very much, it's less so much I think we've talked about this too, Jared, just in group chats or something, about how, it's Vader doing the stuff that the dude bros want him to do, kind of like you were saying earlier, but it's from a perspective and a place of trauma. It's mental health and stuff. It's him.
Good characterization.
It is Anakin being insecure. I gotta prove that I'm better than him.
It's like Charles Soule said in an interview that I cannot remember where he said it, but it was absolutely perfect. Vader is just Vader is trapped in a coffin of his own mistakes.
Yeah.
That's it. If there's one writer I trust with Darth Vader more than anyone, it's Charles Soule. That's it. But to both your guys' point, this is something I realized today. I feel like with this show, with how much of they're showing Vader to just be an absolute tank through the show, I just can't shake the feeling that the final duel is going to be a draw of some sorts, because even if Obi-Wan gets to his pinnacle, which he won't, but let's say he did, he still has no chance at defeating Vader.
Mm-hmm.
I still think Vader beats him. I don't think it ends in a draw. I think Vader wins. But
that too.
I think it ends with him thinking that he killed him, but he's not sure.
At best.
Kind of thing.
That's what I've been saying since day fucking one, Jerry.
With the New Hope, I might have stole it from you. Who knows?
No, it's okay. No, I'm just excited.
Go on, Connor.
But Obi-Wan inadvertently created the instrument of his own demise, and he's gonna
not even his own demise. This goes all the way back to episode 3 with like of the show, not Revenge of the Sith, with the I am what you made me. Like let's just peel back every layer to that. Like I like you like the I am what you made me on one level is the same thing as you should have killed me when you had the chance. Of like look what you did to me. I thought you loved me, and the way I described it before was that like the petulant younger sibling who's like kicking, pinching, punching, kicking, pinching, pushing all the buttons, and then eventually older sibling just hits him back, and that like there's a shell shock there of like, fuck, I thought I could just keep getting away with this.
Right.
Yeah.
And like and now Big Brother, I fucked around, and now Big Brother said find out. You know? Like the shock that comes from that. I think Anakin's reeling from that. And I think there's like a hurt there as well for him that he's right. He's upset. He's like, I thought I could just do whatever the hell I want. I never thought I'd have repercussions from you. Aside from being scolded and talked down to, I never thought you'd have it in you to almost kill me. So there's that level. There's the I'm in excruciating pain and you did this to me. And then there is the psychological warfare flex of not only not only as a product of your training did you make me into the most dangerous Jedi killer in the history of the galaxy.
It was a Jedi Master who was responsible for the training and creation of Darth Vader.
You also, in your failure to kill me, put me in a situation where now I am practically unkillable.
Yep.
Your failure has made me invincible.
Yeah.
So you pull back all those layers. It's like that dynamic there is so complex. But then on top of the fact that the Vader recognizes what Obi-Wan did, again, made him nigh unkillable, there's still an insecurity there. And
we see it in the flashback.
He's still in freaking hell. He's in fucking hell.
Yeah. I think the flashback really showcases everything that Anakin is feeling as Vader during this entire episode. Because
sorry,
where's the
keep
one
going, Connor, because I want to get into like my little
you grow
theory
to
of the
there's two lines that stood pretty much every line in that flashback was just really good. And again, I like a lot of the prequel dialogue, but we all know George couldn't really write traditionally good dialogue. I know he did it all Shakespearean and everything, and I appreciate that with him. But dude, Joby Harold and Andrew Stanton, if they wrote the prequels, bro, fuck.
Star Wars has some very cringy dialogue. Get used to it, just come on, nerds.
But you grow too aggressive, Anakin. Be mindful. A Jedi's goal is to defend life, not take it. And Anakin's response was mercy doesn't defeat an enemy or something. And I'm like,
well, and that's where I wanted to take that is that again, one of two things is happening here. You're having a flashback that is relevant to have either of you watched Arrow?
No, but please continue.
I have not.
Okay. Basically the premise of Arrow and that version of Green Arrow was the whole Oliver Queen is trapped on an island for 5 years, comes back to Star City, and throughout most of Arrow's run, he would either fight a villain who coincidentally was also on the island, or the situation he'd find himself in was nigh identical to a situation he was in on the island. So they would be telling two stories at once. It would be what's happening in the present day as the Green Arrow, and then it would flash back to what he was doing on the island that ties into it. So what's going on here is either the Island and Arrow level flashback, where it just so happens to be a direct parallel to his past, or I think this is an interesting it's almost like the fucking Phantom Menace tone poems.
Right.
Where like it's like a physical manifestation of who these two men were at their best, having the same conflict here.
Yeah.
Where like Obi-Wan like is chastising Anakin for being a brutal murderer now, and Anakin's like, yeah, sure, but I'm so much stronger than you. And it's like, yeah, you might be stronger than me, but because you're so hot-headed and because you're so insecure that you need to beat me, you leave yourself open to stupid shit. And here's me just literally, gotcha, your lightsaber right out of his hand.
That was dope.
Like,
I love
it was
that.
cool.
It was really cool.
And like, there's a part of me that, again, I know it's probably going to be canonically a flashback, but it felt almost like the Mind Palace from Sherlock, where like every move that Vader made, Obi-Wan countered, in the flashback in an identical way to what was happening on Jabin, where like every time Vader was like, we're going to snuff them out, Obi-Wan was like, we need to block them out so that they cannot overwhelm us. Like, it was just this game of chess that both of them were playing without the other one being in the room. And it emulates that sparring match so much that like it feels, it could very well be happening. And I love the flashback, right. But like there's a part of me that really wants to interpret that as a metaphor.
It could be both.
It can be both. It can be both. But I mean, like, Vader is like internalizing what's going on as that flashback. Like, not that he is reminiscing on an actual sparring match that he had with Obi-Wan, but that he's like, this is just like when I was a Padawan. This is just like when I was a Padawan. And every time I did X, he did Y. And every time I said this, he said that. And every time I zigged, he zagged. And it's just that like frustrated, like, I'm tired of my fucking narc big brother stepping on my feet.
He's overly critical, never listens. Yeah, all that.
Exactly.
So
like
and that's
the one line, I think that okay, so like obvious, so like I have two responses to this, which I can't wait to get into. The first one is like the whole chess thing, because my mind went to when he went out to talk with Reva, and also R.I.P. Tatla, but like also I kind of understood.
Don't do that to me.
Why they killed her, because let's be real, if you had Tala, Leia, and Hera in the same room, there would be no original trilogy.
Tala's in charge of the spy network. Anyway, go on. That's my pocket universe. Please continue.
The war would be just over. Emperor wouldn't be resurrected. Leia would take care of him. Everything would be over. World would be happily ever after. But anyway, when he said, I loved when he said, "You're not bringing him to me. I'm bringing him to you." I was like, this man is playing 4D chess right now. This man obviously knows Anakin way too well. He knows Anakin wants him. And he knows.
You know what one could say about Obi-Wan?
This motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking.
That's all I was just going to pick up.
And then the other one is, which I think this could really, really tie into his, I'm still the learner. You're a great warrior, Anakin, but your need to prove yourself is your undoing. Until you overcome it, a Padawan you will still be. And we just see it with Vader in this show. He needs to prove himself to defeat Obi-Wan on his own terms, on really good terms, on really, you could say, neutral ground terms. I had to do it. It's fascinating to me. I think the greatest strength of this show right now is how it's balancing Obi-Wan's character, Reva's character, and Vader's character. And while there are times where I'm like, Reva definitely feels more, she gets more character work than like Vader or Obi-Wan, it's almost always counteracted. Like, it's just, they balance them all so freaking well. And just, oh my God. Also, dude, it's just Vader using the Force. Like, I saw your tweet, Jared, about Vader in the Versus series with season 3, but like, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. Oh my God. I can't believe that was real.
I had a moment, and I'm not trying to compare myself to Joby Harold.
Joby, come on the show, please.
I had a moment watching that fight between Reva and Vader where I went, did I travel through time and write this? Where, like, it was exactly how, like, if someone gave me the reins, I would write Vader in combat. That, like, and again, this goes back to with Vader. Vader is this, like, really fascinating mix of utility and psyche.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where, like, on some level, Vader recognized there is a psychological warfare edge he gets if he just gets in Reva's head, dodge, duck, catch with the Force, throw her back a little bit, dodge, catch, throw, dodge. Here, I'm going to use your lightsaber to fucking kill you. Like, that shit, right?
Yeah.
But I think there's also a part of him that felt so small for the way he got one up by Obi-Wan. That he needed that. He needed to make Reva feel small.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just to go back to something that Ken and Joe have been saying on Force Center. You know, it's the cycle of violence. It's the cycle of abuse. It's the cycle of trauma where Anakin felt small and helpless because he was going to lose Padme and he committed these atrocities. And these atrocities destroyed Reva's world and made her feel small and helpless. And now she is making people feel small and helpless so that she can get revenge on Obi-Wan and Anakin for what they did to her. And now that they're on this quest for revenge, Obi-Wan gets one up on Vader, and now he feels small and weak and helpless again. So he has to make Reva feel small and weak and helpless. Like, it's just this cycle of hurt people. Fuck calling it culture, as Kendrick Lamar said. That it's just this web of pain that people are indulging in. And so, like, yeah, it was cool as shit, you know? And like I said, like, and again, when we want to get into that really nitty gritty, like who would win in a fight bullshit, I said, I am like putting Vader at the top of the list to use him in the Versus series again. The more I thought about it since tweeting that, the more I'm like, I don't know if I can use Vader in the Versus series anymore. I don't know if it's fair.
Yeah.
Like, we're back to Legends level Vader, where he can just do whatever the fuck he wants. Short of using Force Lightning, he can do anything.
Yeah, that's the scary part.
Like, go back to Legends. Like, Vader was taking grenades to the face and shit and getting back up and being like, hey, you got blood on my cape. Like, that was like Legends Vader. And we're back to that again. And it excites me because that means every time Vader shows up, like, if someone's going to push him, they are going to be God tier. But the fight with Reva is so cool. It is so well choreographed. It is so terrifying. Like, I got watching that fight as a Vader stan was fascinating because I was watching my favorite character fight one of my a new character who is becoming one of my favorites.
Right.
So the Vader stan in me is like, fuck her up! And then the Reva, the fledgling Reva fan in me is like, oh honey, no, get out, go, Go run.
Go away.
Killer!
Go away,
Go,
honey.
go, stop, disengage, cut her fucking head off. I'm going back and forth between like, fucking kill her, make it slow, and then like the other, and like the part of me who like wants to see more of Reva is like, honey, run away.
We're seeing dark timeline Jared succumb to his.
I felt slightly. I felt like fucking Moon Knight. I felt like there were two different people sharing his head for a minute. You know, it's like the joke friend of the show, Steele Saunders, made whenever like Luke showed up in Mando with the whole like, he's like, you know, it's like I was sobbing, but I was also laughing hysterically. You know, like I don't know what to do with that. I feel like a crazy person. That's how I felt watching that tete-a-tete between Reva and Vader. I was like, oh yeah, fucking kill her dead. But like Reva, no, you, no, kill her, no. Anyway,
but like also, I'm so happy she's not dead.
I was gonna say like she took a lightsaber to the gut as well, and she like not yet.
I have some predictions, but like we'll get to that. I just because I was legitimately scared that she was not for the character, but for just like all the shit Moses had to deal with. And like obviously like obviously they didn't know that when they were producing the show that like she would receive all this. Well, I mean, Lucasfilm did warn her, but like it wouldn't have felt right is not the right word.
There would have been a weird feeling when Avatar of Dude Bro Power Fantasies Darth Vader killed Reva after everything that happened.
Yes. It wouldn't have felt right.
And I was thinking the same thing on top of the other performance art I've done of all of those feelings I had while they were fighting. I was also like, people are going to shitpost about this and it's going to suck.
And then she wasn't dead. And I was like, yes. And then Grand Quizzy showed up.
Quizzy was like, hey, bitch. Like, it was so fucking funny.
Dude, he's such so a petty. Here's the thing I love about the Inquisitorius so much is that despite their status as formidable Jedi hunters and that like they're some of the best besides Vader, they're so fucking petty. They're a high school
hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
There is so much of that there. Like we don't know everything that's like wrong with the Grand Inquisitor. Like we don't know his full story, you know, but like, cause we haven't gotten a moment from him like we have from most of the other Inquisitors where they have like some very brief trauma dump.
Yep.
Like all of the Ninth Sister and Fallen Order, where she just kind of like snaps for a little bit and she's like, and they took everything from me. And we'll take everything from you. Pain means nothing. Fuck my hand, I'll fucking kill you. Like, you know, we never got that from the Grand Inquisitor, you know, but I giggled because again, the Grand Inquisitor is another character that I love. I love him as a villain. I love the concept of the Inquisitors and just the leader of them is cool as hell. And when he showed up, the way he looked at Reva and went, hello, Grand Inquisitor. I was like, oh, you messy bitch.
Absolutely.
That was the most queen shit ever.
Oh,
ever.
100%. 100%.
I
so
love,
fucking petty.
Like, I'm gonna pull the pink milk here. Like, Quizzy, that was some shit I heard on RuPaul's Drag Race. Like, that was the level of like he pulled with Reva. I loved it.
Inquisitorious Drag Race.
Happy Pride,
All right,
Happy Pride Month. The Grand Inquisitor is a gay man, and you can't tell me otherwise.
That's canon as far as I'm concerned.
It still ties back into a. It's funny that we're recording this on June 15th because June 15th is the 1 year. Has been 1 year since I interviewed Matt Miknovitz. Sort of unofficially, but that's besides the point. And one of the things And one of the things he said when I asked him about Trilla's fate and Vader, he was like, Inquisitors don't kill other Inquisitors. So when Reva stabbed Grand Quizzy, I was like, might need to do a rain check on that one, Matt. And then this episode happened. I was like, nope, never mind. I also just loved his line of revenge does wonders for the will to live, don't you think? And I'm like, that is legitimately the dark side in a nutshell.
Well, and it's like it's foreshadowing her as well, I feel like.
That is Palpatine, that is Maul,
oh, yeah.
That is just so many Darksiders.
That is what the darkness does. Yeah.
They can't let
go.
What
it does. It offers, and I loved also the line of your rage.
And it is so rarely justified the way it is justified for the Grand Inquisitor, though.
Yeah.
Because, like, he was right. He was right. In episode 2 of Kenobi, he was like, will you please knock it out and just get out of my goddamn way for 5 minutes and let me take care of Kenobi? Oh, my God. Like, he was right. He was right. And I think that he got a very nice I told you so moment. And I think Grand Inquisitor's buddy Vader stabbed her the way he stabbed her so that the Grand Inquisitor, to quote Cat Williams, got a moment to come in and get his 7 laughs in.
It's so good. I did not expect that to happen. I expected like we were going to get like Grand Inquisitor stuff in like next week's episode. But like, I'm happy we got it out of the way now, just so okay, cool. Like now we don't have to worry about this anymore.
Now I don't have to worry about the people
being it broke canon.
You guys keep talking for a minute. I'll be right back.
It's all good.
Yeah, no. What were you saying, Gerry?
Just like I was fully prepared for it to not happen. I was ready for like the discourse and all that kind of stuff because I'm like, I don't know. We got 2 episodes, left here. Do we want to go and do like a here's Grand Inquisitor, like, getting his morning coffee? He's okay now, or whatever. But no. Like you were saying, it's, I don't know. I love everything about that interaction. And again, like you said, that line, the will to live,
revenge does wonders.
Revenge does wonders. Yeah. Which again, I think, like I was saying, that is definitely foreshadowing Reva, because she finds the communicator and Bale's message and finds out about Luke. We see, Luke
and like,
in his
here's
bed
the
and all
thing that really
is she gonna go? Is she gonna like go like her will to live? Like she's gonna pull a Darth Maul and like survive?
I mean, she's wounded. She's not dead. So like, yeah.
Right. But she took a lightsaber to the gut and everything. Is she in?
I mean, let's be real.
Quizzy took one. Quizzy took one, and
Quizzy took one. But like, also, we're talking about Moses Ingram here. She's kind of just built different. So like,
oh hell yeah. No, she's way better. But like, I think also that her will or her revenge and will to live is much, much stronger.
Dark side feeds on hate, anger, and pain, man. She's got
scores to settle. She's not done yet.
I think another line I
I'm not done yet.
Really liked was your rage was useful. Now it is tiresome. And it reminded me of something my friend told me when I was talking to him about Taron Malicos. And it was that how to him, Malicos, to my friend, the dark side is so interesting because it offers, to quote him, because it offers slavery as if you were the master, which is just, I think, probably the best description of the dark side I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And that was, and that line kind of incorporated that here because it's like, we used your rage, but like now we have no more use for it. You're a tool to be just disposed of.
You're just annoying now. So
yeah,
it's just go on.
God,
I'm gonna take out the trash.
Yeah, I love it. But enough about the dark side. Let's talk about Obi-Wan himself.
Okay.
First thing I loved him just effortlessly going back into his sort of prequel type accent in the flashback. Like it sounded just like Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones, Ewan McGregor, and it was just beautiful. I really hope Ewan McGregor gets nominated for a freaking Emmy for this show because he fucking deserves it. He truly deserves it.
He just deserves all the love and admiration, regardless of. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Like it, and again, so we saw Anakin's saber, which firmly plants this. I think in Attack of the that flashback is like before Attack of the Clones, which is wild.
Yeah,
like we got before
or it's like
anyway.
right before, or it's like maybe
away
in the,
from the cookie jar.
oh shit.
Oh shit! Darth Mother effing Vader's here.
So like
Move away from the cookie jar.
So to everyone listening and not watching, Cookie Cop's here, and he's on a revenge tour. Don't know how to process this one, Jerry.
I don't. Oh man, he just left. Oh, he's back.
Oh,
whoa!
Wait,
Oh,
what did I miss?
We're talking about Obi-Wan now.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Like the character, like, and just the fact that he needs to be nominated for an Emmy, because like
listen, that's the joke I made when this show first started coming out. Where if you traveled back 10 years ago to the Walt Disney acquisition of Lucasfilm, and you told me in 10 years' time that Ewan McGregor could get nominated for an Emmy for his performance as Obi-Wan Kenobi, that sentence, just the like, whoa, Ewan's gonna be back as Obi-Wan, an Emmy?
Why an Emmy? Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Well, how's it that award that he's nominated for? Not a TV on TV? Played Obi-Wan on TV? What? Like, I give you a cookie, got you a cookie? You know, like it'd be
wild, but like it's reality now, and it's insane because like I was saying that how I loved how Ewan slipped back into his prequel era Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones accent for the flashbacks. Like it was just flawless for the man. It really
Which I think proves another thing we were talking about, because people were like, he sounds different. It's like, no, like he's transitioning from himself to Alec.
Yeah.
And like this was proof that he was back to, you're
and
right,
it didn't, and it sounded, and like I never really, because like I remember you telling me that, Jared, and us talking about it in previous episodes, and I never really like noticed that the whole like Ewan's trying to sound like Alec until today. Because like it was just
because he sounds like a hybrid of himself and Alec, and he always said like with each prequel he was getting closer and closer to that, and now we're here of like he's like this is the most on the way to Alec Guinness he's had to play the character.
There were so many, just his acting in general was really good. There's two small moments that really get me when it comes to Ewan's acting that just need to be on his like Obi-Wan. Like he has to, like definitely has like an Obi-Wan Kenobi acting reel. He can't have it by now. And this like there's two scenes that I think really need to be put on there. It's when where's the line? Oh, it's when Tala asks, "Is everything all right?" And he just looks at her and gives her a forced smile and just says, "It will be." And it's just like, A, Ewan's acting there, phenomenal. B, it really shows that Obi-Wan's just getting the crap kicked out of him. He's really feeling this mission, and like it's taken a toll on him. And then the second moment for me was when Reva says, "Do you really want Anakin dead?" And it cuts to him, and he just has this look of like,
obviously no.
Fuck, I don't know if I want to do this. Yeah. And like, it's so good. It's just
did anyone else Oh, go ahead.
And another really quick line. This is about Leia, and it's about Leia and the line of "Would you stop talking?" Just the way Vivian delivered it. Like, I always knew Vivian was Leia in this show, but like just the way she delivered "Would you stop talking?" when Haja was trying to like explain to her how to do this. Just the delivery of that like made me think like, yep, that's Leia, all right. That's her.
Very Leia. Just back to Obi-Wan real quick. You're talking about, the interaction with Riva. Did anyone else think that he was like, and maybe it was because it was like 3 a.m. when I watched this, and I fell asleep midway through the episode the second time.
Oh boy.
So I had to pause and then go, because I got 2 hours of sleep last night. But did anyone else think that he was, and correct me if I'm wrong, that he was, it made it seem like he made her think he was going to fight with her? Like, because doesn't he say like we can take him together or something, or she says something like that? Because to me it felt like she thought he was gonna be there, and then he's like, then whenever he's on the transport, I'm like, oh shit, he like kind of set her up and everything.
I didn't think that at all. I think she made it clear that I don't think she was ever gonna want to fight by his side,
right?
And I think Obi-Wan was like, the best I can do is set him up for you to have your best shot at him. And again,
I'll tee him up for you.
It's one of those moments where I love when, from a certain point of view, Star Wars villains are right.
Yeah.
Mercy won't defeat the enemy. And depending on how you interpret it, Obi-Wan was merciful and too squeamish to finish the job with Anakin. But also the Revenge of the Sith novelization says that Obi-Wan wasn't feeling merciful that way and would rather let Anakin suffer. But Obi-Wan's inability to handily, thoroughly finish the job with Anakin twice now.
Mm-hmm.
He was not willing to stand and face him and try to kill him himself. So he was like, I'll let Riva do it. And now Luke is on the board in a way that he should not have been at all.
Yep. Yep.
Luke is in danger now because Riva is like the children. What the fuck does that mean? And I'm, who knows
next
what that's
week,
going to
baby.
mean? Who knows what that's going to mean for next week? But
I really feel like this. Okay, well, because we'll get into it. Because like, again,
I just wanted to say, like, it's twice now. Obi-Wan's unwillingness to get the job done with Anakin has put everyone else in danger.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also,
absolutely,
Jared, to go back to your point of like, we're getting Obi-Wan in a TV show. Like, if you told me 10 years ago Obi-Wan would kill take down a purge trooper, I'd be like, I just error 404. I just wouldn't. I would combust. Like, what the fuck?
Well, let's pluck you right after you beat Fallen Order for the first time, and go. Now, in a couple years, there's going to be a TV show where Obi-Wan does all this too.
Yeah. I'll say, depending on how many years ago, you probably would have been like, "What's a purge trooper?"
Oh no! If you plucked me out after like my third playthrough, I would have been like, what? Like, there's no way. There's no possible way, to quote Scotty.
It's too cool. It's too cool.
There's just no possible way. Like, there would be no possible way for that to happen. Oh, and then this line was heartbreaking in the best way possible. And just like, shout out to Moses Ingram. I know she's not listening, but like, shout out to her anyway. I really think like her acting has just been really, really, really good, and just pretty much bridging on phenomenal. Her acting, when it came to that really quiet scene at the door with Obi-Wan, off the charts. Phenomenal. This line in particular, just the way, the hurt, the absolute hurt you hear in her voice when she says, "We thought he was there to help us." I was like,
that's brutal.
Damn.
Absolutely brutal.
Fucking, but you can just hear it. You can feel the hurt in Reva. Everything she has to say that is phenomenal. Also, we get a Gorel reference. We get a Rebels reference in Kenobi, which is dope.
The Gorel reference, I was like, ooh, I know where they. I know. I remember that purple planet. Yes.
I think that's really all I got. Like with this episode, just phenomenal episode. I think it's definitely my second favorite. My first favorite is number one. I just the setup of everything with this show in episode 1, just I can't get over. There's so much good with it for me, but this is a close second.
I'm having trouble like separating all the episodes. Like to me, like, and Jared, you mentioned earlier that this episode is your favorite Star Wars right now. Like you said it did, or it is dethrone. It is about to dethrone.
It's my favorite since TLJ. I don't know if it is fully dethroned episode 8, but like, motherfucker, it can hang.
The whole series, I can't separate the episodes for some reason in my head. And I honestly, I got done telling someone that today. Like you said that, like, because Last Jedi is like my tip at the top right now. Last Jedi is a very personal film to me. It feels like, you know, like just the way I think a lot of people who love it, like it has a very personal thing. Like it was very personal to see Luke Skywalker going through, you know, the shit. But this, I don't like, this is when this is all said and done, this could be my, like, the whole thing could be like my favorite Star Wars of all time. And I don't want to just throw that out lightly.
Making a strong case for it too.
I don't want to throw it out lightly, but it's like, every week I'm like, I can't believe this is real. I can't believe this is something that is actually happening now. It's been so many years away, and here it is, right? And it's delivering. Like, I don't know about you guys. I haven't been disappointed once, I don't think, in any of these. Last episode, I was like, okay, we're going in a different direction, but I like that. That's what TLJ did for me. They zigged when I zagged, and I want to be surprised by a Star Wars. And you're surprising me in a Star Wars with characters that I know already? Fucking great, man.
That's the thing I love the most about this show. Is that, like, we know the fates of, like, 98% of the characters, but we're still just on the edge of our seats.
Yeah.
Because Deborah Chow just fucking gets it.
I decided I wanted a tattoo of Kylo Ren after getting to sit with the sequel trilogy in its entirety for a year.
Yeah.
And have like this is why I love this character. And as I've said 1,000 times, Kylo Ren is my favorite Star Wars character because Darth Vader is my favorite Star Wars character.
Mm-hmm.
And I, as of today, have started toying with the idea of getting a similar Kylo similar to the Kylo tattoo I have on my right thigh, of getting one of Vader on the left. That, like, I'm
that
like,
would be pretty sick.
I have come full circle to the whole. It's not Kylo Ren in first place and Darth Vader is a close second. It's both of them because their story is just, you know, it's the Skywalker saga, fucking duh. But like,
yeah,
I latched on to Kylo, and he's still my favorite character. In the same way Vader is, for all of those reasons. But like, every time Vader has shown up, I'm like, this is why I love Vader so much. And this is why he's my favorite character. And this is why I love Kylo Ren so much. Like, I'm just having this moment where I'm like, I need both of them. They both need to be there. And like, because like the tattoo I have is like the American traditional style with like Kylo Ren's lightsaber and the Skywalker saber kind of bound up in a band of text that says, I will finish what you started. So like, there's some Anakin Vader here.
Right.
But like, I need him. I need him. Like, I can't not have it at this point. Like, it just, yeah, it's perfect. And the journey he's going on with Obi-Wan, his show's amazing. This is the best. This is some of the best Star Wars
come out in years.
Oh yeah.
Like honestly, it might be I'm starting to think it's the best thing that the new era has produced. I don't want to say that. I'm not going to.
It is top
the Disney era, but
4 or 5 for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's up there for me. It's so good. Like seriously, my parents and my sister, brother-in-law, and nephew are coming up the end of July, and we're getting like a little vacation house around here, and in Michigan. I cannot wait. Again, after we put the kiddos to bed, because this is a little too like I'm excited to show my 5-year-old girl this eventually, but when she's not 5 years old, because maybe when she's more the age of Vivian Lyra Blair, in the show, like 9 or something, because it's a little dark. But I'm so excited to experience it with my mom and dad, who basically were the ones who got me into Star Wars. And again, I'm consumed by it, right? But again, Jared, you're going to be getting caught up, with your dad as well and stuff. And like,
yeah,
this show has given us so much, I feel like. And now it's like, this is Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader. These are two of the characters that they have been there since the beginning. Literally, they've been there since the beginning. And they've been in almost every movie except for the sequels.
Because, I want to say this real quick. Because this is a safe space.
Their presence isn't felt.
This is a safe place, and I can get really introspective with you guys.
Yeah.
Because I know you guys like that. One thing, and it upsets me that Spencer wasn't able to make it tonight, because everybody, it's one of those like red flag jokes. Like if he says he relates to any of these characters, fucking run. Spencer and I have always had the Obi-Wan Anakin relationship. Like we've always had, I'm the hothead dickhead, and he is, very cool, calm. Hey, maybe we don't burn the building down kind of guy. Like that's always been our dynamic. And, right. He and I, for as long as we've been friends, have always had like a rivalry, like a friendly rivalry, and it's funny and it's stupid, but like it started with fucking Trivial Pursuit between us. Like he was my trivia arch enemy before like the whole Scotty bit started, like and
this
like
is what you've done, Jerry.
Scotty War.
Yeah, but seriously though, like it was like a precursor to that in a funny way. That's why I was so excited to do trivia with him.
I am what you made me.
I am what you made me. Like literally though, like with Spencer though, like that's what happened. We played Star Wars Trivial Pursuit for years, and he kept fucking beating me.
Yeah,
and like,
always the learner.
And there came a point where like I haven't lost in like a year, in like 2 years now. And like, but like going to what you said, Connor, like I am what you made me, and like obviously it's not as dramatic and it's not as like violent or toxic or any of that shit, but like it makes me happy because like, and like hell, like you can see on my fucking Instagram, Spencer and I cosplay Obi-Wan and Anakin, because like that's just always been our relationship. We've always joked that like we're each other's rivals. If it one day it'll come down to me versus Spencer. That's always been the joke between us, because like we've always just kind of seen each other in that, especially from the Clone Wars on relationship that they have of, like the chaotic crackhead, relationship, and it
right.
This really speaks to me because this coming off the heels of Star Wars Brotherhood, like it has that. It's been a lot for me, and it makes me very happy because I do relate to Anakin. I do have those moments of when I was younger, I felt ostracized from a lot of my peers the way that Anakin did, and I as a kid, as a teen, as a young adult was very I got a chip on my shoulder, I got to prove something to everybody. So like that flashback really affected me. Flashback, whatever you want to call it, I like I said, I'm not going to die on my hill that it's a whole metaphysical whatever, but
still cool.
It's still, yeah. But like with that scene, like when Obi-Wan was like, your need to prove yourself, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, I can hear Spencer in my head. Like, you know, where like Spencer's being like, bro, calm down. And I don't know, like it really gets me, you know, because I'm not going to say I relate to Darth fucking Vader, you know, like he's my favorite character. I think Vader's a cool ass villain. And I think there's a humanity to Anakin that I related to as a youth and still do to this day. That like it's been a really special experience, and I really appreciate this show for what it's done so far. Like these are one of those like it's been a personal Star Wars story that, you know, wasn't just a matter of, oh, this is cool and oh, look at the brilliant storytelling. You know, we're like, I'm not just enjoying it as a fan. I'm not just enjoying it as somebody who likes to analyze and critique media. Like, this show has affected me as a person. And a lot of it has to do with my best friend, because that's like, it's always been our dynamic. Like, because I'm obnoxious as fuck. Spencer's birthday present, shout out Only Hope Supply Co. One of the 3 non-Roosevelt's brands I put on my body. They do the really cool like saber shirts where it's like the lightsaber and like the flower with the quote and shit like that.
Oh, nice.
I have their Kylo Ren one. I have their Spider-Man one because they did the Spider-Man one as well. And for Spencer's birthday, they did a line for the Obi-Wan show where it was like Obi-Wan's outline like he is on the poster in the desert.
Yeah.
Like the first poster where he looks very Jesus-y.
Very much, yeah.
And then on the back,
they're getting tempted by Satan and shit. Yeah.
And on the back, it's like, you know, something like the Hope Lives or whatever it was from the first trailer.
Yeah.
I got him that one, and then I got their shirt of Anakin because I'm obnoxious, and I was like, I got this matching shirt, Spencer. It's like that's who I am,
That's awesome.
And like this show's really affected me in that way, you know, where I'm like,
Deborah,
that's beautiful.
Joby,
that's
come on,
beautiful.
Nice. Jared
Dude,
needs it.
Deborah, Joey, do more Star Wars.
Yeah,
please give them all the Star. And we always say that when like someone does a great episode, but I mean a whole freaking series so far, like an entire wealth of like 6 episodes. Well, we'll see next week, but honestly,
it's 6 episodes.
There's no way they don't land this plane the best. Like it's gonna be the smoothest. You're not even gonna feel like you were on a fucking plane when they land this shit. All right. Like it's going to feel like you've just been like on the ground the whole time. You've been up walking around the cabin. You haven't even had to put your seatbelt on. Okay. It's going to be so good, I think.
And speaking of landing the plane, what are our predictions? For
I want to say real quick before we jump into predictions. I just want to say real quick. There's a lot of dude bro-y story pitches we've heard over the years. I think Joby Harold might be the king of take some dude bro shit and make it good.
Make it meaningful. Yeah.
Make it meaningful. I think that's the word.
You know what? Joby Harold, write a Darth Vader show. You know what? Joby Harold, write Revan. You know what? Joby Harold, here is all of like the edgelord Star Wars shit people have been asking for years. I want Joby Harold to make all of it.
Yeah.
And Andrew Stanton.
Yes. Everybody involved. Joby Harold is like kind of like a royal we, because I know that's the name we see in every episode. But
more of all of the like you said, the fanboy shit. Like even like look. I would trust the terrible concept art with all the blasters and Obi-Wan. I would trust them with it for sure. That's all I'll say.
Connor, you want to talk predictions? What are your predictions?
Sure. So I have a few. Because there's one line that I've talked about that other people have also talked about on online that like still hasn't really been sort of, I don't want to say referenced, but sort of paid off yet. I think that's the right word. And it's something Vader says to Luke. I almost said Vader says to Anakin. Vader talking to himself. But then again, he does that. So probably.
All the time.
Yeah, all the time. We do it. We all do it. He says it to Luke in Return of the Jedi. Obi-Wan once thought as you do. Maybe they don't pay it off in this show, which I wouldn't be surprised. But I do think it could be, because Jared, to your point about, him talking to Vader pre-Mustafar duel could serve as that. I can't see it. He doesn't even make an attempt to say, like, you should join me, Anakin. Nah, man. This man is just like, you went down the wrong hole, and I'm gonna take you for it.
I disagree with you. I think Anakin starts monologuing at Obi-Wan because he knows what's coming. He even says, "Don't lecture me." Like, he knows that he's about to hear some type of, like, Anakin, and he even does. He's a man, the Republic, the democracy. Like he gets there eventually, but like Anakin doesn't even let him start. He's like, you've done that yourself. Don't lecture me, Obi-Wan. I see through the lies of the Jedi. Like he immediately jumps into it because he knows what he's about to say. He knows every word of what he's about to say. I think, like, even though there's the clunky prequel writing there, like, it's a great scene because of the way Anakin's, I don't fear the dark side as you do. Like, there's like Anakin is flipping Obi-Wan's sanctimony on him. And it's because Anakin already knows the lecture about how he needs to come back with Obi-Wan, where it's going. So I do think it could work there. I would love to hear Obi-Wan try to reason with Vader. I would love for that to happen. And I think that on some level, even though Vader hasn't personally witnessed it, he's right. Vader, like, every time Obi-Wan's like, okay, you got to go fight Vader, he doesn't want to, or he avoids it completely. Like he, like literally, even in episode 3, all of it is him trying to run away from Vader. And then even here, he, runs away from Vader, because he doesn't want to fight him himself. And I think it's because he's, like, afraid to. And he's like, well, there's still good in him. What if I have to kill him? So I respect what you're saying. And I'm trying not.
That's actually a really good point that I never considered. I just kind of took, I think what it was I always took, when I rewatched it specifically before Kenobi, I had your thought in mind about, like, this could tie into Obi-Wan once thought as you do. And, like, I think I just took it at face value. So this definitely helped a lot. But the other prediction I have with the final fight, I think it's going to happen. Nah, I actually have no, I can't, I don't fucking know, actually. I can't fucking guess. This could be, like, anywhere. Fuck it, Mustafar system. I don't know if it's going to happen on Mustafar, but, like, fuck it, Mustafar system.
The concept art has lava, so.
Yep. And so, like, I think with the Obi-Wan once thought as you do, I think a moment we could get is, like, Obi-Wan, slashes the helmet, and we basically get live action Twilight of the Apprentice, but instead of Matt, it's actually Hayden. And Obi-Wan sees the humanity. He sees his apprentice. He's like, shit. Come back, Anakin. We need you back. Come back to the light side. And Anakin will just be like, fuck off. I'm not doing this. You made me what I am, and you're gonna suffer for it. And then the fight will, end. Pretty much. What else? Qui-Gon's gonna show up. That's my other prediction. I think Qui-Gon will show up, like, in the Force flesh. I don't know what his role will be.
In the Force flesh.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what his role would be. I think I could see. Actually, no. I don't know if that would be stretching it. Like, he could maybe offer words of encouragement during the fight. but like maybe that could be stretching it because Force Ghosts are usually, they don't really get involved, which is kind of their whole spiel. So like, I don't know how they could work it, but like, I feel like with the apex of Obi-Wan's arc, him being able to commune with Qui-Gon will have some effect in the fight and will level the playing field just a bit from like a complete defeat to like, okay, maybe I have some chance of getting the fuck out of here and escaping. I don't know. Also, I'm pretty sure like we're gonna see Qui-Gon and like maybe he's just not in the, maybe he just like, you know, doesn't help in the fight or whatever. Help, quotation marks.
It could just be at the very end.
Yeah, it could just be at the very end. He speaks with them and he shows up and we're all like, just finally. Shit!
Now that he's been through this trial and stuff. Yeah.
And speaking of Tatooine, obviously we know Luke can't get captured or killed. And we know Reva's going to Tatooine. I could I actually don't know.
I accidentally read a leak that I didn't want to a while ago by a reporter who can kiss my entire ass. And I hope what they reported is wrong. And that is the only reason why I am not going to give like a big prediction, because
with Reva,
I think
okay.
Connor.
All right.
I don't want to know.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. I just think like Reva going to Tatooine is going to be really interesting because I feel like it's going to pay off that like line of, do you think you could protect them from me? Which will be really, because also there's the fact that Deborah Chow said like, like Deborah Chow, I think in an interview said like, all I'll say is that I'm really happy that George Lucas cast Joel Edgerton, and I'm like, there's no way she's just referring to like those few scenes.
Well, here's the thing.
But like, I don't know.
We're gonna get a lot. Listen, we have to get Tatooine in the next episode, and a good bit of it, not just because Obi-Wan has to go home. Because don't forget, Beru was cast for the show.
That is true.
And Bail Organa, in the worst moment of sending a very detailed message in his life, said Tatooine, Owen, the boy, farm. Like in that fucking order. The children. Like, Reva is probably gonna end up on Tatooine, and I don't like that. Is it just me? Leave Luke out of it at this point. I don't care. I don't need Luke. I want this story to stay on track, and I'm getting those Marvel Disney Plus show jitters of like some wild shit's gonna happen in the last episode that feels like a non-fucking sequitur that just kind of derails shit a little bit. Like, this is very like, you know, you're the Scarlet Witch, Wanda, and now we're gonna fight for a whole episode. But here, like, concluding the story involves fighting for a whole episode, and that would involve getting Obi-Wan and Vader in the same room. I don't know. I'm a little nervous for how they're gonna put a bow on it, but I think I'm gonna like it.
Yeah, same. My prediction is this is a very bad prediction it would cause a lot of controversy. I think there's potential that we don't see Vader and Obi-Wan fight again.
Nah.
I think there's potential.
Jerry.
I think there's potential. I don't listen, Connor. Listen, go ahead and start tempering your expectations. It may not happen. I think it's going to happen. Right?
I don't think it would be like, oh, this series
after this episode, nothing. Right? But just with the way the story's going, it doesn't have to be Vader, because now Vader's it almost feels like Vader's played his part, and Reva's like, well, I'm gonna go finish this myself, you know, I'm gonna go get revenge on Obi-Wan or whatever, or Vader, or both, by seeing what these kids have to do with anything, you know. But that's my only thing. Like it felt a little like that to me. I still think, because I don't think she would be like, oh, by the way, I know you just stabbed me, but I know there's another kid or something. I don't see her doing that. It would be interesting.
At this point, Vader doesn't know that he has a son until
he doesn't know that he has living children at all.
Star Wars run.
Mm-hmm.
So
exactly.
Yeah.
So he can't get too close. He can get way too close for comfort and make us all unnecessarily nervous because, No,
I hope he never sets.
They're very good at writing. I would be okay with it.
I do not think he will.
I would be okay with it because
that would be stretching it.
If they are gonna fight though, I'm telling you, it's gonna happen on Tatooine.
Nah.
I'm telling you, it's going to happen on Tatooine.
I do not see it happening on Tatooine.
It's going to happen. He's going to get close enough, but Obi's going to stop him, and then he's going to think he kills him, and then he's like, all right, well, I've done what I need to do here.
Now, I think Tatooine will be
I don't ever want to see Tatooine again, kind of a thing. He never wants, he doesn't like that place. But I think he would go there for Kenobi.
He doesn't even know he's on. That's the thing about this show. None of them know. None of them.
Yeah.
And that has to be kept because Vader doesn't know. The Inquisitorius doesn't know.
Right.
And if Vader goes to Tatooine, that is broken. That would legitimately.
I don't think so, because Tatooine's a whole planet, buddy.
I don't think it's entirely
the Lars
broken.
farm.
It's not entirely broken, but it is. There is a lot of suspension of disbelief.
It's close for comfort. It's close for comfort, but there are places you could have a fight.
I do not see it happening on Tatooine.
There's tons of places. It's a big planet, my man. It's a big
planet. It's a
big
planet.
They can have the fight in the cave that Obi-Wan's been staying in.
That would be cool, but let's be real. It's not gonna.
I am being real. That's gonna happen, Connor. It's gonna happen.
Is there lava on Tatooine?
It's gonna happen. You just got to get used to it, man.
Is there lava on Tatooine?
Okay,
no, but listen, concept art isn't
fucking baby head in the Rise of Skywalker, Connor.
Yeah, that wasn't in there, but maybe it'll be in a comic. Hey, maybe he sticks his lightsaber and makes lava out of the rocks and stuff.
So we're going Greg Pak Darth Vader right now. Bad.
Maybe, yeah.
All right.
But anyway,
I respect it.
But again, that's not what I'm not saying I want this and whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying, be prepared for there not to be a big knockdown, drag out lightsaber battle between him and.
Oh, you were just about to make a Weezer reference.
Well, not on purpose, accident. Although I do like Weezer, but also be prepared for them to get. Because this is, again, I think they're going to get as close to people's comfort zones as they fucking can. I think they're going to make you squirm. Ooh, what's going on? What's going on? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Deborah Chow, what are you doing? What are you, it's going to, seriously. I think that this last episode is going to, I think we're all going to be we're going to be like puddles of nerves at the end of this episode.
And just puddles.
Puddles of tears. I mean, it's going to have I believe that they will stick it again. I think it'll be a fantastic landing, a fantastic ending. Nice little bow and all that. With hope and all that. But I think that they are going to absolutely just you got to feel, again, they've been making us feel these characters that we know live are in real danger. We feel that. So you got to make us feel that Luke is in real danger as well. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Listen, I'm not writing it. Joby is. Okay. So,
and Andrew.
That's all I'm saying. Yes, exactly. Again, royal we and things like that.
And probably Deborah to a certain extent.
But anyway, I'm just excited.
Same.
That we live in this time.
It's so weird that this show is almost done.
We got really more weird. James Earl. We got a ton of James Earl Jones playing Vader still. Isn't that insane?
Yeah. Granted, it was
new
probably
Vader
through
line.
the AI stuff that they used, but like,
I'm interested to see, but
I can't wait
think
for the
I
behind
think
the
he's
scenes
still got it.
documentary.
I bet he's
I
still
really
got it. I bet he's
hope-
like
Oh,
spry
the
and
BTS doc is gonna be crazy.
I really hope they split it up like Mando season 1. I realistically don't think they will, but I hopefully.
I think they could do a Mando season 2 where they're like, here's how we did the whole show.
Mhm.
And now here's one just about Darth Vader. You're welcome.
Right.
I
And
feel
here's
like
one
a
about
year
Obi-Wan.
later.
No, like
Yep.
like
Or
Obi-Wan is the
Christmas.
center of like here's how he made the whole show. But I think
Right.
they could do one just about bringing Darth Vader to life. And
Yeah.
like the amalgamation of everything. But anyway, Gerry, where can the lovely people find you and all that you do?
Well, you can find me, hopefully after a few more hours of sleep, on twitter.com at the Canon Junky down here, my little handle there. Yeah, I tweet about lots of things, Star Wars and all that. But also, you can catch me every Thursday on a little ditty called the Bombadcast on youtube.com.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. Sorry, I'm kidding. I love you.
Whatever. It's okay. I love you too. But me and my buddy, Scotty Jero, we get together, we talk, whatever.
This bitch.
For
Jared
real,
has
for
all
real.
the weapons
And
out.
listen, I will tell you, and when is this episode dropping Thursday or Friday?
Probably Thursday.
Oh, see, I'm breaking the thing.
You're breaking
suspension of
Bombad
disbelief,
canon.
everyone. Listen, I don't know if it's going to happen tonight on Bombadcast, but in the near future, you're going to be seeing a lot of new clips on Bombadcast. This is Bombad. A new Bombad era is starting. So that's what I'll say. If you're a fan of Bombadcast, you love our clips and stuff, we're going to keep some favorites. But we're cycling through.
Favorites.
We're cycling through, and listen.
Like this footage from the future of Gerry and Scotty about their Patreon.
I'm sick of being called a grifter.
I mean, Scotty's Twitter persona is a grifter. Both of us are like, you should just give us
Scotty
money
is
because
Star
we
Wars
exist.
Twitter Roger Stone.
Oh my god.
He should dress more foppish, like get like the
Yeah.
all that kind of
Scotty,
stuff.
you should dress more like a fucking Batman villain.
Yes, dress like the Penguin meets the Riddler. Dress like an amalgamation of all the villains stuffed into one, mixed with the Mad Hatter.
A little bit of Riddler, dash of Lex Luthor.
He's totally got a tattoo of Rick McCallum's face on his back. So
You're
welcome.
That was a good Roger joke. That was a really good Roger joke. Connor, are you familiar with who Roger Stone is?
Vaguely. I just know he seems like a dick.
You listen, live in that. Enjoy that.
Okay,
Sorry.
TLDR, because I'm not going to
No, I'm not doing this.
No. He's a weirdo right-wing grifter. He's friends with Alex Jones. And when he was like our age, he worked on the Nixon campaign.
Friends.
Yeah, friends in air quotes. No one's ever really friends with that bastard. But which one of them am I talking about? Yes. But he has a back tattoo of Richard Nixon.
Full back. Like
not full back, but a
photorealistic.
huge chunk of like between his shoulder blades is Nixon's
It's
head.
been a while since I've seen the documentary on
Get
Netflix.
Me Roger Stone. It's so good.
yeah.
Highly recommend to anybody.
Weird.
It was entertaining, made me really scared for America. It's been great being here. That's all I gotta say. Thank you guys. I always enjoy coming on here when you want me to come on and have like a long episode and everything. So again, thank you for having me on, despite my proximity to Scotty Boy. It is what it is. Again, we both beat you, but I know he really rubs it in. So
that'll be the big twist. Is that after I make my way through our group chat in trivia, that after I beat Scotty, I can just be like, and now it is time to rest. But actually, it's not, because the real ire of my vengeance is Gerry the Canon Junky.
I thought I was one of the Infinity Stones. Oh, that would be interesting, though. That would
be a twist. That'd be one hell of a twist.
I did.
I used the stones to destroy the stones.
I was gonna say I used my stones to destroy my stones. What? I don't know what's going on. Well, listen, I hope you have a good time farming and all that, all those lovely, lovely little spiky melons. But again, anyway, thank you for having me on. I look forward to our Bitter Enemies era. It's gonna be great.
And
it's gonna be great.
Okay, all jokes aside, if you guys are watching us and not Bombadcast somehow, fucking fix that.
If you've loved any bit of this, God bless your heart. I'm just kidding.
The Bombad Boys are some of my favorites, and I hold you gentlemen near and dear to my heart. And it's always a pleasure to have you guys on.
It's always a pleasure to be on. It's a pleasure to have you on again. Jared and Connor and them make regular appearances on Bombadcast, so you should come there anyway. Okay.
I hold the record for most guest appearances. I hold the record.
I've been on there twice, I think.
I've been on like 5-6 times.
I don't know if I've gone through my Bombad ritual the same way Jared has.
Well, I was on the time that Scotty had a nervous breakdown.
Right, the trial of Jared the Dark Jedi, the great trial. Yeah.
Still have nightmares. I still have nightmares.
Morph suit sticks with you.
I did the Kylo Ren episode. I was on the Valentine's Day special. I was on both of the creepypastas. I was on a book of Bombad. I called in for I called in and I helped bring home our childhood memories.
Yeah.
And I was on for the episode where I issued the challenge for the trivia thing, but the episode itself got taken down because it was like the Bombad moments, and you guys were doing the Battle of Crate, and that was why I was on in the first place. And then the trivia, I've been on 10 times.
It's
nice.
Top that.
That,
Cotterman.
5-timers. Whatever. 5-timer. Oh, jacket. No. We got the 10-timer members only. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the one and only club.
Speaking of one and only, July 1st, go subscribe to the Bombadcast.
Yes.
Bombadcast Patreon.
Yes. And again, so you can check out details on mine and Scotty's and Bombadcast Twitter and also on the show. But just real quick, like July 1st, $7 or name your price, you get full access. We don't do tiers. We're all Bombad family. The only thing we do have is that if you are underage, like if you're under 18, you probably can't be in our in the Discord chat or whatever that we're gonna have, because it's gonna be that's a place for grown-ups. We use big boy potty words there. Okay, so
it's an Adult Swim.
Yeah. It's Adult Swim. But you feel free to love the rest of the stuff, But anyway, again, thank you guys again so much. Thank you for plugging all that wonderful, wonderful shit that we do. Thank you guys for doing what you do as well, because you guys do a lot of good shit. This man ran himself ragged the week of Celebration, and you don't get enough credit for that. Both of y'all, but like especially for like such little stuff that they actually put out and everything. So kudos to you guys.
Thanks,
you're the real
Disney.
MVPs. It's Disney Plus Day again. So, but anyway, love you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jerry.
Connor, where?
Yeah. They can find me on Twitter, be talking Star Wars, being horny, and just joking about the fact that I have one eye.
Connor, I love when you say, "Oh, I'm being horny," because like your horniness begins and ends at "You're pretty." It's so wholesome. It's wholesome.
Like neat. She's neat. Like
or or just like I need them to destroy me. Like that's it. Twitter is Depa Banana. You can also find me podcasting about more Star Wars, specifically Star Wars animation, aka some of the best Star Wars, over at For the Republic, a love letter to Star Wars animation, We are chronologically going through the Clone Wars right now, so we will be done all 7 seasons in about 3 years. It's taken us forever. Yep. And you can also find me writing articles and stories, none of which are published yet, but will be. One will be soon. I'm working on it. Over at sweditorIG.com. I work with a wonderful team of creatives. A lot of them have 1 or 2 stories published already. Go check them out. We add to the canon while also honoring it. We don't retcon stuff, even though we pretty much could, because we're writing just regular fan fiction. But we try to keep to the canon as best as we can. Sometimes it's hard. Other times it's rather easy. Go check us out, sweditorig.com. Jared.
Yeah.
Where can they find you and everything that we do here?
I just need to interrupt. I just saw on Twitter there was like this panel from a comic where it's Magic from the New Mutants asking a bunch of Marvel villains, "Do you want to make out with me?" And Super Skrull says, "No, I do not." She says, "Do you want to make out with me?" And Annihilus says, "Not enough arms." She says, "And what about you? Do you want to make out?" And then another villain who I don't recognize says, "Yeah, a little. Unfortunately, I'm working." And then Magic draws her sword and says, "I gotta say, bad call, because it was fuck or fight, and you have chosen poorly. Quick question: are any of you human?"
Wow.
I've never
Very
felt more
nice.
seen. That's how I'm going to approach Scotty at the wedding. It's fuck or fight.
Fuck or fight, man.
Same thing to that sexy bitch Joe Organa. What's up, baby? Take me out to dinner.
Hey,
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram, simping over that gay Jedi and Joe Organa at Dark Jedi 2552. And you can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on our website, www.thenerdacademypodcast.com, where, if you're feeling generous, you can donate to our Patreon.
Give me $1.
Speaking of our patrons, thank you to our $10 alumnus, Nick Johnson, and Paco, or as he's going by on the Patreon, use code TeenApp at checkout for $5 off on SaveInfoWars.com. That's $5 off on SaveInfoWars.com if you use code TeenApp.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, enough of that.
So many stackies, so little time.
So many stackies, so little time. I always get excited when everybody starts making knowledge fight jokes. By the way, Jerry, you need to listen to the one that came out today. Did you see what I put in the group
I listened to a lot of knowledge fight over the last weekend. I don't know if you.
I saw that you put it in there. I was very happy.
I'm still in March. I got way behind.
Skip ahead. Just skip ahead because shit's getting weird. But yeah, versus series. We are going to be doing Revenge of the Sith, Anakin Skywalker versus Mando Season 2, Ahsoka Tano for this month. So tune in for that. We'll also be announcing next month's match in that matchup. So stay tuned for that. Number 1 contender will be coming back soon. I'm super behind on the Schmodown just because I've not had time. I've been very busy between celebration and then going on vacation. It's been a lot. So I'm going to get caught up on the Schmodown. There's going to be a fucking giga episode of Number 1 Contender coming at you guys in the near future. Devin wasn't feeling well today, so we weren't able to record Movie Club. So next week we're going to wrap up prequel month with Revenge of the Sith, and then we're taking the rest of June off, and then July we'll be back with more Movie Club. And then I don't know. I'm not going to announce anything fully here yet. Alden Diaz, friend of the show from Octo Radio, and I.
This guy?
are that guy on your shirt.
That guy, the tapestry man.
Tapestry man himself.
Tapestry on the nipple.
He and I are working on a little something that is going to be both in the podcast feeds and channels for the Nerd Academy and Octo Radio.
Okay.
I am hard at work writing something that I think is going to be very important and something that we are in desperate need of as a fandom to really look into the soul of. So stay tuned for that. That's pretty much all the sizzle I'm going to give until I confer with Alden. It's a full-on team up between the two of us, which means, everyone's favorite people, everyone's favorite online arguers. Nobody knows how to pick a fight quite like Alden and I.
Right.
So let that inform what we're doing. You can also go to the student store link on our website to get some nice TNAP merchandising.
TShirtTeepublic.com.
Thank you all so very much for watching and listening. And we're honored that you have joined us. And may the force be with you always.
Stop! Move away from the cookie jar.